Good morning, everybody. We are on lesson 92. Miracles are seen in light, and light and strength are one. The idea for today is an extension of the previous one. You do not think of light in terms of strength and darkness in terms of weakness. That is because your idea of what seeing means is tied up with the body and its eyes and brain. Thus, you believe that you can change what you are seeing by putting little bits of glass before your eyes. This is among the many magical beliefs that come from the conviction you are a body and the body's eyes can see. You also believe the body's brain can think. If you but understand the nature of thought, you could but laugh at this insane idea. It is as if you thought you held the match that lights the sun and gives it all its warmth, or that you held the world within your hand, securely bound until you let it go. Yet this is no more foolish than to believe that the body's eyes can see, the brain can think. It is God's strength in you that is the light in which you see, as it's his mind with which you think. His strength denies your weakness. It is your weakness that sees through the body's eyes, peering about in darkness to behold the likeness of itself. The small, the weak, the sickly, and the dying, those in need, the helpless and afraid, the sad, the poor, the starving, and the joyless. These are seen through eyes that cannot see and cannot bless. Strength overlooks these things by seeing past appearances. It keeps its steady gaze upon the light that lies beyond them. It unites with light of which it is a part. It sees itself. It brings the light in which your self appears. In darkness, you perceive a self that is not there. Strength is the truth about you. Weakness is an idol falsely worshipped and adored. That strength may be dispelled and darkness rule where God appointed that there should be light. Strength comes from truth and shines with light its source has given it. Weakness reflects the darkness of its maker. It is sick and looks on sickness, which is like itself. Truth is a savior and can only will for happiness and peace for everyone. It gives its strength to everyone who asks in limitless supply. It sees the lack in anyone would be a lack in all. And so it gives its light that all may see and benefit as one. Its strength is shared, that it may bring to all the miracle in which they will unite in purpose and forgiveness and in love. Weakness, which looks in darkness, cannot see a purpose in forgiveness and in love. It sees all others different from itself and nothing in the world that it would share. It judges and condemns, but does not love. In darkness, it remains to hide itself and dreams that it is strong and conquering. A victor over limitation that but grow in darkness to enormous size. It fears and it attacks and hates itself, and darkness covers everything it sees, leaving its dreams as fearful as itself. No miracles are here, but only hate. It separates itself from what it sees, while light and strength perceive themselves as one. The light of strength is not the light you see. It does not change and flicker and go out. It does not shift from night to day and back to darkness until the morning comes again. The light of strength is constant, sure as love, forever glad to give itself away because it cannot give but to itself. No one can ask in vain to share its sight, and none who enters its abode can leave without a miracle before his eyes and strength and light abiding in his heart. The strength in you will offer you the light and guide your seeing, so you do not dwell on idle shadows that the body's eyes provide for self-deception. Strength and light unite in you, and where they meet, your self stands ready to embrace you as its own. Such is the meeting place we try today to find and rest often, for the peace of God is where yourself, his son, is waiting now to meet itself again and be as one. Let us give 20 minutes today to join this meeting. Let yourself be brought unto yourself. Its strength will be the light in which the gift of sight is given you. Leave then the dark a little while today, and we will practice seeing in the light, closing the body's eyes and asking truth to show us how to find the meeting place of self and self, where light and strength are one. Morning and evening, we will practice thus. After the morning meeting, we will use the day in preparation for the time at night when we will meet again in trust. Let us repeat as often as we can the idea for today and recognize that we are being introduced to sight and led away from darkness to the light where only miracles can be perceived. Light and strength are one. What a beautiful shift. That brought up to me how I used to perceive love as weakness. What if it's love that is in vulnerability, and fear is vulnerability? Now, let's take a step back and walk through a few of my definitions and my meanings for these things, okay? Vulnerability, right? Fear is vulnerability. Fear is the place. Vulnerability are the places that we haven't learned how to love ourselves yet. Those places are not unlovable. We just can't perceive the love in them. We can't perceive that we are lovable in them. And when we share those vulnerabilities to somebody else, we say, here, I'm sharing with you a piece of me that I don't know how to love yet. That's vulnerability. Vulnerability is the key to connection, because here's the thing, it's also the key to healing. When we speak our truth, all of our truth, we are human. We are not God, and we are. We are God in human incarnation. So we share these parts and we don't know how to love with each other. Share our fear, share our insecurity with somebody, not in a forceful way, making them fix it, but offering it to be seen and witnessed. And then that's when the magic can happen, guys. That's when the magic can happen, because when we have our tribe, when we have our people that we can trust to be vulnerable with, that we can trust to hold space for us, that we can trust to witness us, not fix us. Most often, when we show those parts that we don't know how to love, they show us how to love them. This is where it can get sticky though, because there's two branches from vulnerability. There's two different paths from showing ourselves in a vulnerable state. One path is seeing that they love those parts of us that we don't know how to love yet, and then requiring them to love those parts all the time, love them for us. That's where attachment comes in. That's where expectation comes in. That is where we cut off the connection. Connection and attachment are not the same. They are two different things. You can't be in connection when you are attached. Because when you're attached, you're saying, I need you to do this and be this for me. I need you to give this to me all the time because I am not willing to do that for myself. Or you can go this other path. And that's where you see how they love those parts of yourself. And you say, teach me. I will learn from you how to love myself, from how you love me. And then you learn to love yourself there. You grow, you expand, and you're able to amplify the love that you offer to that person. In turn, they're able to offer and amplify love to you, deepening connection. That's connection, is when we learn from our differences. Connection is made possible by the differences. It's like a puzzle piece. When you're putting those puzzle pieces together, they can't connect unless they're different. They fit into each other. And in that, we are able to learn from them, from their differences. They are able to learn from us, from our differences. We get to teach each other. We get to learn from each other. We get to grow and expand together, walking alongside each other. And we're not going to do it exactly the way they do because we're us. And they're not going to do it exactly the way we do because they're them. And there's no right or wrong. And then we grow and expand and release and shed these layers that have been blocking the love and light in us and our ability to be love and light in the world. And we grow and we uncover deeper areas that we may not know how to love. And then we get to step into deeper vulnerability with each other. It gets messy and sticky when we try to make them do it for us. It also gets messy and sticky when we make ourselves their source, meaning we define ourselves and our identity by what we can give them and what we can do for them. That blocks connection too. Light and strength are one. Light and strength and love are one. And in the midst of all of this beauty, remember, we are human. We are human. I was listening to a podcast by my amazing dear friend Carrie, and she was interviewing Maya Luna, somebody I have the biggest woman crush on because her brain and her words and her expression of that, the articulation of what she feels and sees and experiences and does is so powerful. And she said, it isn't a problem because it's a problem. It's only a problem because we have problematized it into a problem. And that falls so in line with the Course in Miracles. Problems are illusion, grievances are illusion, not real. We have just named them so because we have this insane idea. We have this vision, this expectation of what healed looks like, and we aren't it by our standards, not anybody else's. So what if we walk through the day bringing love and light and acceptance to the parts of ourselves we see broken or wrong? What if doing that gives them strength and transforms them into our strength and not our weakness. Perhaps it's not the thing or the wound or the weakness that is to change, but in how we receive it. Have a beautiful day, light bringers. Bye.